welcome back to Badger's Cottage Garden. So I've been out in the garden, and sorry about the noise. I seem to have picked the worst time to do a video, which is when the heavy traffic is going by. I don't know why it's so heavy right now though. Anyway, what have I been doing? I have been emptying out my potato sacks and using spent compost as a mulch along my garden bed. So this is what it looked like before, sort of just your earth and mud left over from last year, with a few sort of bits of dying off plant on the top of it, and that's fine. You can just leave that. It'll just add to the microbiome in the soil. And then once I've put the spent compost on the bed, that's what it looks like. Now, the spent compost won't have a huge amount, if any, nutrients in it. This is just to keep at bay any little weeds that might consider themselves welcome in this bed. And before I get my compost and my manure that I'll be adding to it, I just wanted to get it quickly covered up. What I don't want to be adding to the soil are potatoes. So I better be careful to pick all these little babies out. Otherwise I'll have potatoes growing in here. Okay, so that's what I've been up to in the garden. And whilst I was emptying those bags, compost bags that the potatoes have been growing in, I had a few bonuses there. So that was quite nice. I mean, some of them are looking a little bit ropey, and some of them are already thinking that it's time to grow again. But that's a little bonus in the bottom of my bags that I wasn't expecting. Today I'm going to start seed sowing. And anyone who is just starting out in this, it can be an expensive process. So I thought I'd show you an example of what could be a much cheaper way of doing this. You will shop around for the best priced compost. Depending on where you are, it's worth looking around, because the compost will be available at various different prices. And when you're potting seeds, you don't need a special potting compost or seeding compost. Multi-purpose compost is absolutely fine. So just pick up the cheapest multi-purpose compost you can. And this little treasure here I got from Wilko's. I don't like to advertise people, but this was a pack of 6 of these modular plantings and a tray. Now this is a grow bag tray, so normally you would get a grow bag, which is basically a compost grow bag that you place in there, cut open the top, water from the bottom here and grow out of the top. But I'm not going to use it for that. I'm going to use it as a drip tray, and these fit in nicely. So this whole setup, with one spare set here, cost me £6. So that was a good start-off deal. So I'm going to use that to start off. I've got loads and loads of others, as you'll see as the videos go on. But I just thought I would try something cheap and see what was available out there for people that were trying to start off for the first time, because it can be an expensive process, and you can buy some really cheap ones out there. I bought these a couple of years ago, and just look at the state of them. They're just falling apart. But these ones that are much, no, not these ones. These are the next stage up, but not quite all the way stage up, are much stronger than these ones here. So you can waste money on things. These are not hugely, they're not going to last for too long, but if you need something to last you the first couple of years whilst you're setting up, before you invest in something else, then these look like a good product for this year. £6. Each of these cells is 40 cells in each of these trays. So you can grow a lot of plants out of that. Let's look at my seeds. If you followed any of my videos before, this is my seed storage drawer set. It's an old Japanese apothecary cabinet, I think, initially. But I keep my seeds in here. And the way I sort it, I'm in the middle of sorting them now, is that each seed tray has got a different type of seed in it. And then at this time of the year, I will put them in the drawers in the order of how I'm going to sow them. So my first ones that I need to get out sown in, which are really overdue, are my peppers. So they need to get put into their cells and planted today because they are very, very late being planted. Next is my radish, and they go directly out into the garden. So they'll be going in next. And then I've got my tomato seeds. And then basically that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm working out what order everything is going to be going into here. I've got some empty seed packets from last year, so I need to make sure that I throw out any empty ones. And I'm also going to experiment this year. I've got 2 egg incubators, which I can control the temperature of. I'm going to attempt for the first time to germinate seeds in these, see if I can speed up the process at all. I probably can't speed up the process, but what I can do is save energy, because I've tried. You can get heat mats that you can put underneath, and people have had some great success with heat mats, but I've not had very much success with heat mats, which is why I am experimenting with the egg incubators this year. In the past years, I have heated my conservatory, and I will do to an extent, but I've always maintained an above 25-degree temperature in here. This is still set up for the winter, so just ignore what's going on in the background at the moment. But the problem with that is that you're heating a large space, or a larger, much larger space, to that temperature and maintaining that temperature, and it can get expensive. Once they've germinated in their areas to germinate, then they can go out into the conservatory at a mediocre temperature. It doesn't need to be 25 degrees to keep growing seedlings, only to germinate. The peppers do prefer a slightly higher temperature, so I will be putting them out there at a slightly warmer temperature, but I won't be maintaining what I was doing last year. I may find that I can't germinate seeds quick enough in here, and that I'm going to have to up the temperature in the conservatory and go back to what I was doing before, but we're just going to experiment. This is the one thing I really, really do enjoy about mischief. Dog's getting up to mischief. The one thing I really do enjoy about gardening is being able to experiment and to test things out and try things out, because it doesn't really matter if it goes wrong. I always do some the old way and some the new way, so I know the tried and tested method, and then I can find out what else works. So I am going to start planting up some trays of seeds and plant up some pepper seeds to go into here. So that's going to be my morning task. Take care, have a good day, keep planting, bye.